All right, we're back. Andrew's confused by snacks.
Just no.
I mean, Australian snacks are weird. Let's be real.
Really?
This
More
is
weird
your
than
burger
other
wing.
places?
I mean, I think so. Yeah, and I can say this having lived there as well. Like,
Okay.
I can say
alright.
this.
Okay.
I think so.
I can say it having never lived there. Y'all snacks.
Y'all snacks are weird. To be fair, the Canadians have some weird ones too.
There was a thread on Twitter yesterday that was like someone being like, Australia is like the weird like Aldi universe or whatever, with like weird alternate versions of all of the brands, and it was really weird because I was like being like, those are just the brands. That's just what they are. Like Donut King and Hungry Jack's. Like Donut King.
No,
is
but
the
it
thing.
is. It's weird because it's like very similar to stuff that exists
Yeah.
elsewhere, but isn't the same. You know?
Right.
You go and get a Whopper from Hungry Jack's.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
Where?
It's a Burger King.
It's a Burger King.
Do you want some homewares? You go and get them from Bed Bath and Table.
Yeah.
Bed Bath and Table?
What?
Not Bed Bath and Beyond. Which
No,
at least
it's
isn't
Bed Bath
really-
and Beyond. I mean,
But
that sounds a
some of
lot
them are
more
for the
mystical.
table.
Listen,
So it's
beyond.
Exactly.
Beyond describes the rest of the house.
Let me
Okay.
tell you about consumerism in America, Ash. You are in the like inflatable child's pool in the backyard of consumerism, and then you come to America, and they're like, "Cool, so this is the 20-meter diving board. This is where you start."
Okay, I'm tweeting that. I am tweeting that as a quote.
We have Target and Kmart, and they're branded almost exactly the same, but they
Because
are
they are
different
the same.
companies. They're different companies. They're not owned by the same people.
But they want to be. Each
They
other.
want to
Yeah.
be recognized.
They
It's
have
like,
that like desperate, weird kind of longing, but also like mutual hatred
yeah.
thing, where they're like the fucking.
Target recently decided Canada wasn't worth it, so they don't exist here
Yeah,
anymore.
they pulled out
Yeah.
of Canada.
Yeah. We got.
Was that the
we-
thread that included the weird like potato chip, like they were like Prongles instead of Pringles?
Pringles.
This is
That's
like
what started the
salt
discussion.
potatoes. It was like it wasn't potatoes with salt. It was salt and potatoes, as if like the primacy of salt. Which I can
Don't
respect.
forget,
It's salt.
Andrew. Once you pop, it's really great.
Once you yeah. As opposed to the actual Pringles slogan, once you pop, you just can't stop.
Yeah. Admittedly, one of these is not like promoting addictive behaviors, so I think that's a win.
And Andrew, the primacy of salt sounds like a description of my stream.
Yeah, I'll give you that one for free. I'm here all week.
Oh dear.
Amazing.
Do we want to go into the second month, the open of
Yeah,
autumn?
yeah, we do.
Yes.
Let's do swiftness, also called high winds. Who should be doing the? Who should be? We've done the waters. We've got spirits, dwellers, and what's the other one? Highlands.
We've got what? Sorry.
Emily, what's
We have.
your?
I'm spirits. I'm
Travelers.
spirits.
Yeah, travelers. Spirits, dwellers, travelers. My feeling for like high winds is spirits, because that like I get that feeling of like
The ghostly winds.
yeah, that's
The month of spook.
the month of spook.
Yeah.
Ghosty ghost vibes.
The
I'm
open of
happy
autumn.
with that.
That sounds good
Yeah.
to me.
All right. Okay, I will get an encounter prompt. So I roll a d8, don't I? That's what I.
Yeah,
That's what I do.
I shared with you the spirits one, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. I
cool.
got it. Roll 1 d8. 1. Okay. All right. Let's have a look here. Oh wait, of course, spirits aren't going to be on this one though.
They're on the other one. I shared that in the Zoom chat also.
Oh, I understand. I gotcha. Okay. Spirits. Okay. Huh. That's interesting. Okay.
I'm trying real hard not to look. I'm like, don't look at the thing.
All right, and so now I need to choose
Basically as many of the descriptors as you like,
yeah.
and like get them in your head.
Very interesting. Sorry, give me a minute.
It's okay. No rush.
What's this thing look like?
There are only like 14 hours of Ash's birthday left.
Yeah, exactly.
My mum messaged me this morning and was like, "Now remember, you weren't born until like 11:30 p.m., so you only really have half an hour of birthday. So make the best of it." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh my
Wow,
god.
so generous.
Yeah. Did you see what my mum got? Did you see the tweet where I showed off what my mum got me for my birthday?
The bag? I
Yeah.
saw a bag with some funny stuff written on it.
It's just funny because now she always gets me pink things. Because she's like, "You're my daughter. It's okay. I accept you as trans. I'm so supportive. Look at me, the supportive mom." I love her. But, oh my gosh. She got me a pink tool set that she found at, like, Cheap and Chips. With,
That
like,
is the most like mixed message of like,
What?
I'm gonna get you this really masculine gift of tools, yes, but they're pink.
But they're pink.
It's cool.
Yeah,
I'm not confused at all.
My mother, her gifts didn't change. They were just still things in army green, like always army green. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, jackets or whatever. It's always that. Yeah.
yeah, the tools thing was, like, my family comes from a pretty, like, masculine, like, fixing things and garden work sort of culture. So, like, it was like, you're still a part of our family, but also you're a girl. A hammer with a pink handle. Like,
All right.
All right.
I understand,
all right.
but
Do you wanna hear about
yeah,
a
let's
thing?
hear about spooky things.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So I think that actually we find ourselves sort of following the luminescent and many colored kind of substance on the water is the thing that follows us for quite some time. Sort of to the point where maybe we get kind of used to, the sea looking a little bit like that. And one night, the people are drifting through the water. The wind has dropped right down for like the first time in a long time since this season began. And I think the first thing that the first sign that the night watch sees of this thing is something glimmering up ahead in the water, sort of seemingly just underneath the surface. It looks like jewels or golden coins. And as they drift a little closer, they also start to see, sort of mixed in with these glimmering points of light, there are what look to be many glittering eyes underneath the surface, sort of shifting and moving in this really kind of hypnotic way. That's what we see.
Ooh, fancy. All right, who's taking this on, team?
What have we got? Law.
We've got the eyes, the hands, and the law.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Luke. Just.
I mean,
like,
I'll tell you, my course of action will be just to look at it.
Yeah, right. And that seems like the
Look
obvious
back.
one, right? Like that seems like the obvious one to me. Is like there's a mysterious thing.
But I posit that the last interaction was between me and Emily as well, just the
That's
opposite
true.
way. So
I would also like
somebody
to
else
see the
do it.
law handling a spirits thing.
I was gonna, I didn't want to talk over anyone, but I was gonna volunteer.
Yeah, I think that sounds great.
Step aside, we've got this.
Step aside.
Putting on like one of those wigs, like a judge's wig, being like
Like a judge's wig and a cowboy hat and sheriff's badge from like
Yeah.
the Wild West
Yeah.
on like a little vest
And a gavel.
and a gavel.
but like a war gavel.
Yeah, but like two-handed. Yeah.
Oh, war gavel, amazing.
I have to play it. Now I have to like get a war gavel in
That would absolutely
in
suit your
Stone Top.
characters.
Like if
Yes.
if Kerwin in Stone Top doesn't end up with a war gavel, I'm gonna be upset. So,
Well,
yeah.
all right then. I asked some questions, don't I?
Well, you first say like what your initial approach is, and like to like work out how are you getting the answers to these questions.
Yeah, how do the people respond to this?
So I think we have some kind of place where the law is kept, be it like in a person or on like a recorded thing. I don't know how y'all imagine we might record information.
Tattooed
All
all
this
over
stuff that
someone.
dies.
We do.
Do we do
I'm
do we do
wondering-
tattooing? Is that a thing? Like
Oh, yeah.
like the idea that one person's skin is literally
Yeah, one person like carries the law with them.
Oh.
And so that person's name is
Steve.
it's never Steve, Elf. We're not going to settle the planet Steve or the planet Bob.
it's Rolf Ball. It's always Rolf Ball.
I don't want this character to be completely unsympathetic, Ash. So we're gonna name this character.
Rolf Ball sympathetically attracts bullets.
Gade, whatever this is.
Geid. Yeah.
Yeah, how would y'all pronounce that?
I'd pronounce it Gade.
Gade, yeah.
Yeah. My brain
Also,
goes
can we
to,
put
like- Oh yeah.
can we put pronouns
yeah.
with characters just so that we can all refer to it when we if we reincorporate them? It's handy.
Gade makes me think of June for some reason.
Okay, well, if it's a Dune character, it's got to be a man. Dune is a man story.
I mean,
yeah.
look, if it's a June character, it's either got to be a man or naked.
Oh, both. Why not both?
Naked under a still suit. Everyone's naked under a still suit.
Yeah.
Well, I like the idea that this person, like, if this person's entire body is tattooed with the law, like,
True.
Oh, they're naked all the time.
yeah, like, I think they have to be because otherwise, like, the law is
Or
not.
Ah,
So
yes.
it is,
like
it's
The law, naked and open.
Exactly.
Swinging in the breeze.
Oh, God.
No, I think it's like you, like they have like they're covered up actually, and the law. You don't like
yeah.
bust out the law. It's not always.
Yeah.
effective.
So when we need to bust out the law, they have to just, like.
They have to like. There's
Yeah.
like a ritual way where they like undress and.
And
Yeah,
like,
that's
and
actually
like
really cool.
wash themselves as well, so that there's not like dirt on them.
Yeah, like, and they're like very meticulous, and they have like no. They're not permitted to have any hair on it. Yeah, Guide isn't permitted to have any hair on his body, so he's totally like shaved.
I like the
headed.
idea that like when he's got clothes on, he's like just a person. He's gay, like just in general. Like let's have a party, let's get drunk, whatever. And then like he takes off his clothes and he becomes the law.
Yeah, that's like his.
Pretty cool.
It's like putting on the wig as the judge, right?
Yeah.
Like you need some way
Yeah.
of signifying that you're enacting your office. And so, yeah, I think he's young. I think he's maybe like just finished. He's at the point where like he's just finished growing, so they don't need to worry about the law getting warped. Right? And then they just like fucking covered him in tattoos, and it was probably a very intense couple of days. And so yeah, they like the people fetch him from wherever his family's boat is and get them to kind of come up to decide what to do.
Okay, cool. So questions?
And I think like Guide like like sits on like a mat on some little like raft or something, and has like attendants who read from the law, or that like consult with him, and then he makes like a proclamation or something. And so we want to know to which ancestors, gods, or spirits can this thing claim descent or kin relation? If I'm permitted a second question, I would like to ask that if, regardless of its form, is this a thinking being or person?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, is
Okay.
this a thinking being, comma, a person?
Oh, right. As in, it, like both of those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because if it's a person, we can't lie to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly.
You know.
Okay. I think. I think this is a thinking being. Yes.
Great.
I think this thing. The second question was, or the first question was, what gods or spirits
To,
can it?
to which ancestors, gods, or spirits can this thing claim descent or kin relation?
Yeah. Okay. I think this thing can claim kin relation to the great octopus.
Ah.
It is not descended from it, but I think it is associated with it. Maybe has some of the same kind of domains and aspects as the great octopus.
So this is a spirit that is known to us.
Yeah, I reckon maybe not a spirit that the people have encountered directly before, but maybe one that they've heard about. I think they know that it is has a tendency or liking for riddles in the same way the great octopus does.
Right. Does this thing have a name? Also, just I'm asking
Yeah.
freebies here, but
Yeah, no, let's say I think this thing is called, let me have a look here. Actually, I think this thing has many names. I think this thing has like, uh, it's sort of part of its kind of like tricksiness in lore, Lore, is that it has like this kind of ever shifting like list of titles. So it's called by like many different things. So I think like all of the people like would refer to it with some different title.
yeah, there's like a whole host of stories that you can choose from and pick names out of. Those different
Yeah.
ones. Great.
Yeah.
Well then, in that case, our solution must be also, we all need to remember that we can ask in what ways our dreams have prepared us for this and what
True.
things we
Yeah.
we basically get to make flashbacks.
So, in what ways have?
That's right.
I don't know if I always get to ask that. It's just added to the list of questions, and I've already asked 2 questions because I'm bad and didn't do the thing. But next
That's
time.
okay. Oh, I mean, I'm still happy for you to ask that, but
Well, if you're going to volunteer
it.
it, then I'm going to ask it.
yeah.
Drift.
So, in what way have our dreams prepared us?
So it's
Is that the thing?
forewarned by our dreams. What preparations have we already made? That maybe we didn't realize were for this thing until this moment.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what the preparations are. I know what the forewarning in the dreams are. I think we've been having. I think a lot of the people, and maybe again, this is a thing where there's like I don't know if there's a contingent who, have the prophetic dreams, or if it's like this is a kind of an everybody thing. I don't know, but I think more than one person has been having dreams the last few nights, wherein they keep dreaming of putting their hands into the water, and as they lift their hands out of the water, rather than there being sand, like into the shallows of the water, rather than being sand, there's like tiny pieces of gold and gems. But as they sort of lift them out of the water, they just become numerous eyes staring up at them, and they cease to be gold, kind of like in a, taking gold away from a rainbow or something like that. What preparations have they made? I'm not sure. Can I ask for like other people's input on this one? Like based on those dreams, what do we think? Like I'm particularly curious to know like from the hands.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a practical thing. Like I feel like we've made something. Um,
Well, let's remind ourselves of what our crafts are.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just looking. Was net making a thing that we didn't take? Is that
no, I think we got that. Or where we had
we
weaving.
have weaving? Is net making a
Okay.
different? Net fishing is a different one, but weaving.
We
yeah.
have weaving, dyeing, and rope spinning. So presumably,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
rope.
so I feel like we've made these elaborate like sieves, right? These like like nets and sieves maybe is a suggestion.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the answer.
well,
I love this question, right? Because it turns onto the person who's answering the questions to like give some of the solution.
Yeah. It's a really interesting one.
So part of how we might address this challenge involves these sieves that the people have made. Whether or not we use them correctly is a whole other question. So, our approach shall be. And so we know this thing is a trickster.
Yeah, because in my head, like the sieves, or like when you're like panning for gold, you're trying to like find the truth in a thing, you know, like remove the hiding parts.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to address it, taking whatever action will ensure their safety without regard for their taboos. So,
Okay.
this means that we can both tell untruths to it, and that we can disobey it or give it offense. Those are because our taboos are around not disobeying or giving offense to named or known spirits, and to not tell untruths to other thinking persons. But we know that this thing is tricky, and we feel like maybe we've got a leg up on it. So we have this plan. We're gonna try to trick this trickster.
Oh no.
And like outsmart it and take from it these like false gifts that we can somehow make real with our sieves that we've made.
Okay.
And I think maybe the plan is to like sell back their bait of their trap to them in exchange for safe passage or something like that, having tricked them out of it.
Ooh. Okay. All right. You want to ask me the magic question?
Does this course of action work? Isn't it effective?
I think it is partly effective. I'm gonna say, and I think it's the sieves that save the people here, because I think by engaging with this creature and sort of and they also have like the advantage of knowing some riddle making and riddle kind of fighting, so they're not entirely unprepared, and I think they approach this creature under the water, and lower their kind of nets, and I think what they end up with. I'm just trying to decide. I'm trying to remember how much description I do, and then like how much is because I don't say what is won or lost.
No,
do
you
I?
don't. You just say
So
success or
Just say.
fail, and how many things are won or lost.
yeah. Then I won't go into too much detail, but I think
This is such
yeah.
an abstract one. It's great.
It is, yeah. It works at a cost. I think. Can I say 2 and 2, or is that too many? No, that's kind of too many based on how many
A lot.
names we have. Yeah. I just sort of want it to be really balanced. So I think it's 1 and 1. I think it's one thing is won and one thing is lost.
So who's choosing the win and who's
And
choosing the
I
loss?
think sort of the ambiguous answer here is that like when they pan for gold, so to speak, they don't end up quite with what they expect, but they also don't end up with quite what this creature expects. It's something either something totally different or like kind of
Like a
exactly
filter where we
like they get the reward but they also get the trick or something like that is what I'm feeling.
we're like trick or treat, and they're like yes.
And they're like, okay,
Yes,
yeah,
but-
sure.
And so I've got Ash, you're the hands, and Elf, you're
And the eyes.
You're the eyes. So I think we will lose something from eyes. And,
Oh, okay.
Actually, let's flip it. No, let's lose something from hands, gain something from eyes. So you'll have your list of prompts for what is won, what is lost.
I am doing that currently. When asked what is won, so I'm winning something, right?
Yes.
I think that we win a secret, and that secret is that we know the trick now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Never again will we lose the same way.
Yeah, next time we'll really get the gold, get the jewels.
We know exactly the secrets of this tricky ghost.
How do
Yeah, I love it.
deceive spirits? Let's make it a little bit more generally applicable. I feel
Oh,
like.
okay. You
Just
wanna
to be kind of
broaden our horizons? Sure.
Yeah, like if we're gaining something, it should be applicable elsewhere. But I like the idea of us gaining, like, being able to do the same thing to other people.
I
like,
mean-
works.
Although, considering we literally have the ritual to call certain gods or spirits, it being specific to this one is not entirely, like, doesn't necessarily mean that it would never come up again.
Yeah, but we're also
Because we could just later be like, let's call that one and take all its money.
to spirits.
What's that?
We're also not supposed to lie or do
Well,
untruths.
why
I
don't
mean,
we
we've already broken that.
why don't we broaden the net a little bit here and say that we have learned the tricks of stealing the valuables of spirits, whatever those valuables may be.
Yep, learned how to steal from the spirits.
How to steal from the spirits.
Yeah, cool.
Can you write that down in our things one? No.
And I'm
She
trying to work
already
out.
wrote it down and she's muted.
Should I do?
I'm writing it.
Should I do? Someone is crippled, or like their skill is lost, or like we lose a resource. I'm feeling like a person, like during the panning process, like has some injury.
An important person?
Yeah, an important person.
Well, we've got two of those on the
And we have two of those on deck.
I think it's Made. I think, like,
Oh, ooh. Ah, damn, I have a thought.
tell
But
me
I
your
can't
thought.
remember. Well, so I guess sort of one of the things about this god in my mind is that like they confuse and like hypnotize and muddle you. And if Made is like a spiritual navigator, like I'm wondering
Yeah.
if it's less a physical thing and more like she loses her ability to follow the die, like she will follow it to the wrong places
I've just
or
put
something.
addled for her. Although I'll put in like things lost. I'll put Made's direction. Cool. All right.
Yeah, that was a really interesting. The original prompt for that one was really interesting, Elf, because it is literally the gods and spirits swim, sea and sky change to reflect their passing, and I was like, whoa, it's like it seemed
Yeah,
like a
it
continuation
yeah.
of the die in the water thing.
It does. It does. It's very connected, certainly.
Shall we do respite then?
Moving on.
The hard
Yeah.
Respite.
Let's do that. She takes a trauma. So, who do we think should do respite? What kind of a threat do we want to face? We've got either the dwellers or the travelers.
What is?
I kind of want to do.
This would be fun.
I think so too. I think I want to do dwellers for hardship. So I think travelers for respite would be nice.
Cool.
Yeah, cool.
I like this idea of like how if you're wandering the desert, you might meet someone in an oasis, right? Be in this like sheltered place with them, but it's maybe they make it not safe.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I gotta roll. I'm gonna roll a d8.
Yeah.
3, huh? Oh, this is a good one. I like it. All right. Okay, I'm picking that one. And that one. I'm just gonna go super obvious on this.
Yep.
Okay. So people come to. I think there is an island that has like a cove that provides a natural shelter. And given that this is the heart of autumn, I think it's fairly like cold and windy still. The sea is a little bit troubled, and the people take shelter here to let the kind of like a storm pass over. And in the morning, because the storm kind of goes like from the sunset through the night, in the morning when the light returns, there are corpses floating in the water, seemingly like brought here by the storm. And like the wreckage and like bits and pieces of ships, ships that are like this is like the people seeing like sci-fi shit in the water. Like the ship that these people had was very complicated, and has like tons and tons of rope and strange materials that are unfamiliar to us, and the corpses are just like we cannot count the number of corpses in the water. The water is
great.
filled with like the surface of the water is covered in corpses. Like you could almost walk on them across the bay.
Wow.
And they are all clad in and I think there's like something where like if the audience were watching this, they would know that this was like a misinterpretation, but whatever clothing these people are wearing is the color that you wear when you're mourning someone in the people's culture.
Oh wow. Okay.
And we'll say probably like white. White's a good color for death, so they're all wearing like mourning garb and seem really somber and ghastly. They're all like dead and floating in the water. And there's like the horrible smell, and also these like strange ship parts floating in the water that are like fractured and unknown to the people.
Wow. Okay. Horrifying.
Sounds brutal. Who's taking this on? The hands? The hands maybe?
Yeah, I'm feeling like maybe the hands. I think that seems kind of good.
Seems reasonable.
You've been outvoted. It's the hands now.
Yep.
It's my problem now.
Please solve this in a practical way.
Please deal with all these corpses.
Deal with all these corpses. Like, I feel like it would, like, memory would be okay if they were our people, but like we don't know any, like, they're all strangers. We don't know anything about these people and what rituals they should, you know.
I mean, as I've said in previous moments, I could look.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think you want to look at this too hard.
I think the hands of the people like get a big hook and like drag one of these bodies up onto a ship to like and like I think like cut the like clothing from them to like inspect it closer. And I have some questions. I have questions, Andrew.
Yeah, so you're vivisecting this corpse on the deck of one of your boats.
Yep, that's what we're doing.
Sounds like something the hands would do.
Yeah, exactly. What formed this? Natural processes, mortal craft, and unnatural forces?
Yeah, like, was it just the storm, or was it something unknown to us? Yeah, some strange force.
Like there's so many bodies, right? Like, where are the survivors and all that sort of thing? So,
yeah, I think this person's been shot with a bullet. We like don't know what the fuck that is.
Yeah.
So like you pull a piece of metal out of this like puncture
Mm-hmm.
In the person, and yeah, it's just like this, you know, round ball of metal. I don't know how much metal we use, like the people use.
Not a lot. We don't have like
Yeah.
cold smithing or anything, so.
So, right, and that's one of the like things that is true about the people.
Like,
right?
we could have taken goldsmithing, which would give us metal stuff, but we didn't.
But we didn't, right? So yeah, I think it's not steel though. It's like brass. Like someone shot a brass bullet into this person, and they've been like nibbled on by fish and all this other stuff. So the corpse is pretty like decayed, and seems like it might have been out at sea for a while. But that there's something unnatural about the way that the people, like the way that they died and the way that they have like ended up here. Like seemingly all of the people are together and like huddled, all their corpses huddled together in the bay. None of them drift away from the mast. Like you look out at the ring of the bay or the edge of the bay and none of them are drifting out to sea. They're all just kind of like bobbing towards shore, like as if they were queuing.
As if they were queuing.
What properties might this thing possess that could threaten the people?
Disease.
Cool.
They died in this like strange, unnatural way, and haven't like. Actually, I said it was eaten out by fish, but I think it hasn't been, and I think that's what's weird.
Yeah,
okay.
right.
You would
Yeah.
expect them to get eaten at, but they're untouched by any animal.
Yeah.
So, and if the fish know to stay away from them, maybe the people should too.
Yeah.
Of course, you're hemmed into this bay by an enormous flotilla of corpses. But yeah, they probably are like cursed or sick or something, and that they have like someone or something put like brass in them, in holes in their body. So there's some other force that did this, you know, and who knows if you would anger it by messing with these corpses or something like that.
Yeah, right.
They're like rife with possibilities for trouble.
The wrath of guns.
The wrath of guns. When guns get angry, that's the problem.
It's not the
People don't kill people, guns do.
Guns do.
We need to get some gun control in here to calm these guns down.
If only we the people had guns, then we could
Exactly.
protect ourselves from the guns. And it
We
With
hold
guns.
things to be true, yes.
I think weaving is coming up a lot. I'm thinking we like make ourselves masks, right? To like to protect our
Plague
breath,
masks.
to protect the holy air that enters our lungs.
Do we do it like Plague Doctor style, where there's like stuff in them? Like
Yeah, definitely.
some kind of
Yeah, yeah.
Token or plant or something.
It would be like ammonia,
Oh god.
right? Like it would be
Awful.
like
That
something
seems
we
like a
would
good
use.
thing to breathe.
Yeah, right. Like it, like just something like ridiculous, or like something like.
But wait, we do fermenting and brining.
That's what I was saying, right? Like
Right,
we do
yeah, or
fermenting and
curing.
brining. It'll be something from that we use to like.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, basically like trying to ferment our lungs to protect them.
Yeah, I mean it works preserves the food.
Exactly. So I think that's what we do, and we try and we like navigate like the safest path through, trying to like hit as few bodies as we can, and like yeah, does it work?
No. And I think there's this weird, like, ghastly parallelism between these, like, corpses bobbing in the water and, like, pickled things, right? Like, they have been themselves preserved or pickled in some way. And the people try to, like, get through these corpses, and, like, some of the ships are able to, but the slower or clumsier ships, you know, in terms of their design, anything that isn't like really like sharp and speedy and can kind of like cut a line through them, they get held up and fall behind, and the like continual kind of like gravity of the corpses to want to be in this bay just like entraps groups of the people and separates them.
Good.
Oh dear.
So I think we lose one thing.
Memory.
Mm-hmm.
What do we lose?
Ah,
Let me have a look. What do we lose?
our minds.
Our minds. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that all of mine are someone bad thing happens to someone. I think
At least there are two someones, not just one. We had like one someone who ate like every consequence for like most of our journey.
I mean I can create a new person for
Yeah, you
this
can
kind
create a
of-
new person to
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as soon as they're named,
Don't
they
do
have a
that.
target on them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that it is someone loved by many is stricken with a terrible curse, and I'm gonna weave in a thing, a thing from way earlier.
Just a little joke of the people
Little
there.
joke with myself, yeah.
The humor of the people chimes in for a moment there.
Exactly. Because I think when we say loved by many, I think we literally mean this person is many people's true love.
That's
Because I
complicated.
want to say that weird thing about our culture.
That's
This
cool.
person is the true love of many other people.
Just a very charismatic person.
Yeah. Or, well, I mean, maybe, I don't know. It
Or,
depends
like-
on how true love is kind of.
Symbolically
found or
significant
made.
in some
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
right? Like this is your
Yeah.
true love. No one actually ever like touches her or them, or
Yeah,
anything, right? It's like
Exactly. I don't know.
that's my true love. They're
Yeah.
a perfect ideal
Yeah.
person who was sequestered or something.
Yep. So I think this person, let's give them a name so that we can immediately ruin them. They come into existence and are immediately cursed. This person is called Voinen. This is Voinen. Voinen has they them pronouns, and I think Voinen has this beautiful long mane of golden hair. And Voinen is, as per this sentence, is stricken with a terrible curse. So Voinen is not lost because it was stricken with a terrible curse or lost. Voinen is not lost, but Voinen is cursed. I think they accidentally fall partly into the water amongst these bodies, and the people on the same raft as them manage to pull them out, but they have caught whatever is wrong with these corpses. That's what we use.
Awesome.
They have caught a deadly case of bullets.
Yeah, exactly, or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know quite. I feel like maybe we don't yet know the specifics of what this curse is. Like, there is just sort of there is something very wrong with them, that may get worse and reveal itself at some really inconvenient time later on.
May I offer a thought?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is that they are cursed with the gravity of these corpses.
Oh,
so their heart now always wants to be here. They always feel like they're being tugged in that direction. They'll wake up in the morning having almost fallen off the boat towards the side of it that points to where these corpses are, or some shit like that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm putting in the list of members of the people. Voinon, the true love of many, cursed by the gravity of the dead island. Let's go with that. Cool.
And we still have not dealt with this challenge.
Nope.
So we're gonna try and outmaneuver it, relying on the reflexes learned threading savage reefs. I think when we see that the larger ships are having trouble with the corpses collecting, I think we do a thing where the smaller ships throw turn back and people swim amongst the corpses to get onto the larger, more unruly ships, so that they can help maneuver them with paddles and oars and things, and we're gonna try and just thread our way as carefully as possible, with our specific navigation skills and stuff. I know that's kind of similar to what we did before, but
well, no, not specifically. If we're gonna go into the water to do it, that's.
I mean, that's just how we get people off of ships onto other ships, right? They have to swim. So, yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, so I think it works at a cost.
God damn it.
So most people seem fine after swimming in the water, but where do the people sleep? Do they sleep in hammocks? Do they sleep in a big pile at the bottom of a ship?
Not sure.
I feel like a big pile. I feel like they sleep they are communal sleepers. Yeah.
Yeah. And so everyone who has gone in the water coughs up a single brass bullet the next day.
That's so
I love it.
good.
I love it.
And yeah, many of them are plagued with like weird feelings, dreams, etc. But
How many things are
we
one?
win one thing, we lose two things.
Okay, Emily, because you just did a loss, I want you to do a win, and I want Elf and Andrew to do losses.
Okie doke.
I do love
I do love taking things away.
Yeah, that's all I want.
It's one.
Oh no, it's my allergy. Bullets.
A friend of mine once, when asked what his greatest weakness was in a job interview, said, bullets. And got the job.
I mean, it's a
Oh my
good
God.
weakness. So I think someone promising loses their vision, their hope, or their senses. And I think our dear true love, perhaps cannot feel the warmth of wind or the cool of the night's air on themselves anymore. For whatever this curse is, there's these brass, things that everybody has coughed up, like they have drawn to her in that same gravity, and she has become a dull and lifeless thing. I think is what I'm gonna do, or they have become my bad.
Yeah, so they've sort of become numb to everything. Yeah, which is very tragic for a true love.
For the true love of many, exactly.
I think we have won a new ritual unknown to the people and with its purpose still unclear, and I think it has something to do with these bullets. Because we now have this basket, I think, of like full of these brass bullets that everyone coughed up. And because of the way that our people think we're practical, but we're also we like our rituals. We don't just throw them back into the water. We consider these to be something dangerous but potentially very valuable. So I think that we know that they can be used in a ritual of some kind that could be really effective. We just don't quite know what the purpose of it is yet.
Cool.
And so another thing that we lose is we have let's see here, a treaty or pact with a significant god or spirit broken by the people's actions. We're not supposed to have metal stuff. I think there's a rule set out by the giant Tar, queen of all waters, where she's like, you don't fuck with metal. You just don't. And by carrying this stuff with us, we are in breach of one of her ancient, one of the pacts that we made with her. So yeah, our ancestor Tar.
Sweet.
Cool.
I like horrible things happening to our people.
What a great song.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I was gonna say we're due for
about
break.
time for a break. Yeah. Let's take a
Yeah. Perfect timing again.
break, and we'll be back in a minute.
See you soon.